The Stores Fieldhouse was the home for Connecticut basketball for 36 years, and for most of the last 10, the Huskies labored near the bottom of the Big East Conference. But Connecticut begins the 90s in a brand new building, with new weapons, a newfound confidence, and in a new position. The Huskies are on top of the Big East. And they are ready here at the Gampel Pavilion on the campus of the University of Connecticut. A brand new building, and as we said, a brand new feeling. Number 6 in the country, the highest ranking, as John pointed out, ever for the Connecticut Huskies. And they're going to face a hot team tonight in the Providence College Friars, and we've got a good one coming up on Big Monday. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Clark Kellogg, and I immediately, when I look at this Connecticut team, think back to Seton Hall last year. Andrew Gaze comes from another country, takes a very good team, makes it great. Same scenario right here.
Clearly is. Nadav Hennefeld, otherwise known as the Dove, is doing it all for the Huskies. He's second in scoring, second in minutes played, leads the Big East in steals, and is second in the nation in steals. And
third time he's been named the Big East Rookie of the Week. He's just been one of the dominant players all year long in the conference. Providence playing well and led by a senior, Carlton Screen.
Carlton Screen, co-player of the week this week in the Big East by virtue of 2 big games against quality competition. He averaged 26 points and 9.5 assists last week. He's stepping it up a notch, taking games over with his penetration.
Carlton Screen likes to handle the ball. Connecticut likes to press. Something's got to give. The crowd is ready. Big Monday starts here in Connecticut. Here at the Gampel Pavilion, set to begin a Big Monday. Roger Baker with the starting lineup.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big East Conference basketball here at the Harry A. Gampel Pavilion. And tonight's matchup between the Friars of Providence College and your number 6 nationally ranked University of Connecticut Huskies. Here are the starting lineups. At forward for Providence College, a 6'5" senior from Columbia, Maryland, number 15, Quentin Burton. At forward for Connecticut, a 6'7" freshman from Ramat Hasharon, Israel, number 40, Nadav Hennefeld. At forward for Providence College, a 6'11" senior from Staten Island, New York, number 25, Abdul Shamsuddin. At forward for Connecticut, a 6'5" junior from Highland Park, Michigan, number 23, Lyman DePriest. At center for Providence College, a 6'10" senior from Bronxville, New York, number 30, Marty Conlon. At center for Connecticut, a 6'9" sophomore from Florence, South Carolina, number 22, Rod Sellers. At guard for Providence College, a 6'3" junior from Milford, Connecticut, number 33, Chris Watts. At guard for Connecticut, a 6'2" sophomore from Bridgeport, Connecticut, number 13, Chris Smith. At guard for Providence College, a 6-foot senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 11, Carlton Screen. At guard for Connecticut, a 6'5" senior from Newark, New Jersey, number 32, Tate George. Introducing your head coaches, for the Friars, Rick Barnes, and for the Huskies of Connecticut in his 4th season, Jim Calhoun.
Jim Calhoun enjoying the season, and why not? 22-4, number 6 in the country, a brand new building. Big Monday begins next. To Connecticut this year, 12 of 13, best winning percentage since 64-65, and they're a happy bunch of folks around this place. It'll be Abdul Shamsuddin and Rod Sellers set to tip it off and underway, and the Dove Hennefeld steals it. Lyman DePriest will pull it out, and Connecticut will reset. Tate George, the senior point guard, number 32, will direct the traffic for Connecticut.
Boy, Watts really sagging off, encouraging George to shoot it.
Might not do that for long.
Important for the Huskies to score early because they like to put the pressure on after made field goals.
Quentin Burton finds Carlton Screen in the middle of the dish to Watts. He buries the 3 to start it off.
Boy, textbook execution in attacking the pressure. Get it to the middle, kick it out to a 3-point shooter.
Providence College, a team that likes to press itself after made baskets, and we may see some of that tonight. George answers with a three of his own. And a foul on Lyman DePriest reaching in on Carlton Screen.
Screen, a clever ball handler, has really picked up his game, really being more assertive at the offensive end. That time tried to break the press by himself and forced the foul on DePriest.
29 in the upset win of Georgetown for Screen, and then 20-plus again in the win at St. John's Saturday night. Providence coming in confident.
19 assists he had in both of those games, so he accounted for 90 points.
And the strategy of Jim Calhoun to try Lyman DePriest on Carlton Screen results in 2 fouls in less than a minute of play.
DePriest, a good enough athlete to stay with Screen's quickness. Calhoun hoping that his size would bother Carlton. Already he's picked up 2 quick fouls.
Lyman gets in your face, doesn't he?
He gets right in your jersey.
This screen, using the screen by Conlon, then lost it. Hennefeld coming up with his first steal of the night.
We'll see that happen again.
Don't get fancy around the dub.
Hennefeld the heister.
Inside pass to DePriest. Kick it out to George. He feels it. Not this time. Watts a tip rebound, looking for screen, and Connecticut will keep it.
It's never really a good idea to go up with the intention of tipping a rebound. You've got to go up with the intention of grabbing it. If you can't get it, then tip it.
Rick Barnes with his defense, excuse me, Clark, in front of him here first half.
I think Watts had made up his mind that he was just going to try to tip that rebound. The Friars really playing a sagging man-to-man. Look at Watts. He's way, way back.
Chris Smith, 3 underneath for 2.
See, that can't happen if you're going to sag in your man-to-man. You can't give up a layup if you're going to be sagging in the paint area.
There's the double on Watts. Conlon, little daylight, kicks it to Burton. Nearly traveled with it, and Providence will reset. Conlon bumps off DePriest and hits the jumper. Providence get a lot of people who can shoot the basketball.
And this Friars team, an experienced team. Starting 4 seniors. And they're playing with a little confidence, too. We talked about the Huskies being ranked number 6 and riding a wave of confidence. The Friars coming off their best week of the season.
No question. Sellers looking and finding Smith. He penetrates again. Gets the roll and a foul.
Boy, I really like this young fella's game, Mike. Here he's just going to make a nice little curl move. Screen late getting there. The lane is open, and Smith with the penetration and the nice finger roll. Good extension.
Interesting, as you pointed out, Clark, that's the Friars really sagging in, and then that's the last 2 buckets Connecticut's got from about 5 feet away from the hoop. Smith and George combining for all 10 of the Husky points. Good trap there.
The Huskies will trap you along the sidelines. You must keep the basketball in the middle of the floor.
Quentin Burton comes up shooting. Doesn't get the bounce, and no, they call him on the rim. Offensive goaltending on Quentin Burton.
Oh, I like the effort, though, to go after your own. Yeah, the ball clearly still on the rim, but Quentin Burton going inside after he had missed his own shot.
Hennefeld pulls up. Conlon tracks down the middle. And he'll screen with the ball in the middle. Again, that'll be a key, as Clark pointed out all night long. Watts long with the 3, loose, and Providence will keep it. Tate George had the last hand on it. 16:42 to go here first half. Huskies 10-5. One of the keys for Connecticut in this fantasy season that they're enjoying is they jump out very quickly on people early in games. They used to playing from ahead.
They're good at it.
Yes, they are. Up to Smith, goes right by Screen, who reaches in, stripped him, but committed the foul.
Boy, what a nifty move in transition by Smith, the little jump hop on the dribble to get around Carlton's screen. That's one of the reasons I like this guy's game. Chris Smith, a creator.
The Friars with 3 early turnovers, and that's something Carlton Screen's going to have to control if Providence is to stay in this game. Chris Smith put on a show in the Carrier Dome a couple of Saturday nights ago. Had 2 points in the game with about 14 minutes to play, finished with 25, and scared the daylights out of the Orange.
He's got a lot of ability, very quick with the basketball. As good a defensive player as he is an offensive player.
He's got 7 of the 12, and it's a 7-point lead. Providence will try to set their half-court offense now. Little pick from Conlon outside. Screen can handle it, but he's stripped by George. Burton in trouble. Decides to go to the hoop, and he stepped on the baseline. Well, there's nothing shy about the double teams Connecticut puts on you.
They'll clamp down on you big time anytime you're along the baseline or either sideline. They do a great job of keeping the ball on one side of the floor.
Inside to Sellers, pretty good position. Nice use of the dribble, but it won't go down, and Shamsuddin is there. In the middle screen, looking to run. Good pass for Burton, and he gets 2.
One of the keys for Providence is fast break points. If they're able to get out and run and convert as they did there, that bodes well for them throughout the night.
More times than not, too, Screen will find the right guy.
Oh, he really does an excellent job of making the good decision at the end of the break.
NFL second try of the night. Sellers an offensive board. Back up with it for 2. Friars get through the pressure quickly. Conlon feeding down low. Shamsuddin gets the roll.
Boy, the Twin Towers. Conlon with a little dribble penetration and a nice dish.
Providence hanging around down 5. Scott Burrell, the fine freshman, will be first off the bench for Connecticut. He's up at the scorer's table. Tate George. Shamsuddin had it, lost it. And John Crockett, he's got a reach-in foul. Chris Watts will pick it up. Third foul on Providence. Here's Burrell. Has a Major League Baseball career, Scott Burrell does, if he makes the choice. We've got a timeout. It's Huskies by 5.
Anticipation as he knocks it away and comes up with the steal from Carlton Screen.
106 steals already this season, and a ways to go. A new NCAA freshman record.
He'll continue to pad that record as he pilfers opponents.
NFL inbounds to George.
The best time to go for the steal off the dribble is right between the ball leaving the dribbler's hand and hitting the floor. That's absolutely the best time. That's when the defender has as good a chance to get it as the offensive player.
NFL lost the dribble there and turned it over. Eric Murdoch has come back into the Providence College lineup. Murdoch, a little scare last week at Providence as Eric was in the hospital overnight with a heart condition. Actually, his heart was racing and they couldn't really stop it, but they claim there is no major problem, and obviously there isn't as he's back out playing here a week later. There's a look at Eric, and he is a key for Providence. Chris Smith picked up his first foul on that play.
Murdoch, number 2 in the Big East in steals, also can give you big points from that 2-guard spot.
And a travel called, I believe, on Murdoch as he made his move.
Ready to make his move before he actually caught the ball. Friars already now with 5 turnovers. UConn's only turned it over once. That's one of Connecticut's keys, to force more turnovers than they commit.
Gotta feel pretty good, though, if you're Rick Barnes. You're within 5. Scott Burrell handling it first time. Strong move to the bucket. Burrell, the freshman, with the 90-mile fastball, and a great block by Burrell on the other end. But they've got him, I believe, with the body.
The young fella doing it offensively and then hustling back defensively. Looks like Murdoch has a clean shot at the hoop, and Burrell from nowhere. Great block. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know. Maybe just a little lower body contact. But you've got to like the effort to get back defensively after you've scored at the offensive end.
That's a former NBA player talking about a little body contact. Everything is relative, folks. Here's Murdoch at the line.
You know, I was here Saturday when UConn played Boston College and got a chance to watch the Huskies practice yesterday. Really impressed with the crispness of their workout. And Scott Burrell, to me, should be a little more assertive at the offensive end. And I talked to him prior to the game, and he said his knee feels fine. You know, he had arthroscopic surgery about 4 weeks ago, and he said he's ready to get after it tonight.
Marquise Bragg has checked into the game. Bragg's been a big key for Providence this year. Went down last Thursday night at practice with a bad ankle sprain. Didn't even make the trip to St. John's. They thought he might be gone for a week or so. He worked hard on rehab over the weekend, and he's back playing. And he comes up with a loose ball. Murdoch gets around Smith. Pass picked off Hennefeld. Conlon to the floor hard.
Oh, big hustle that time by Marty.
He'll shoot the 2. In and out. Burton tried to keep it alive. Again, they go to the floor. This time Sellers has got it. George the other way. Smith wants it in the corner. George pulls it back out. Inside Sellers, and Bragg had a hand on him. Little hand check.
Had that forearm in his chest, Mike. That's okay at the next level, but boy, both teams shooting the ball very well. You know, both teams close to undefeated when they shoot better than 50% from the floor.
Burrell moved away underneath, and he lost it on the baseline. Friars have some quick hands of their own down there. 13 minutes straight up to go here first half. Huskies 16-10.
You look at the turnovers.
Screen has not looked for any offense so far. Nearly lost it to Smith. Pretty good double, but he finds Conlon. Murdoch, a leaner. Count the bucket and a foul. Jim Calhoun thought he walked.
No, I don't think so. I think he got the ball on the floor before he made his move. Tough shot, too. Got bumped. Here it is. No, the ball's on the floor before he moved. There's the bump. There's a nice little bank shot.
Tate George picking up his first, 5th on the team. And Murdoch a chance to get the Friars within 3 here. 12:39 to go first half. First game, triple header, big Monday.
Hasn't failed to live up to expectations yet. Been well played and aggressive so far.
Well, the Friars really continue to give them the perimeter of the game, though, don't they?
They really are. It seems to be their game plan to sag and make Tate knock it down.
Loose ball, Murdoch's got it.
And if you're going to sag, you should be in better defensive rebounding position as well.
Conlon can shoot the 3 outside. Down low, Bragg too hard off the glass. Burrell clears the miss.
I tell you what, Marquise Bragg not afraid to throw that well-twisted body of his around.
And I believe they have Quentin Burton underneath with the foul as he and Burrell were trying to get position. Burton his first. 5th on the team. Murray Williams makes his first appearance in the dub. Hennefeld sits down. We've got a timeout. 3-point game. Just under 12 minutes to go first half. Starting off a big Monday here in Connecticut. The Huskies up by 3. Dick Vitale, Mike Patrick standing by for the battle for the bragging rights of the state of Indiana. And then at midnight, Barry Tompkins, Quinn Buckner by. 2 teams, Long Beach State and Fulton State, that both believe they still have a shot at the NCAAs. A triple-header big Monday here on ESPN. John Gwynn has come into the game. John Gwynn, number 15 for fans around the country. He will get it up if he gets his hands on it, won't he, Clark?
The Energizer, constant motion. He gets 11 points a game and only 17 minutes per game of playing time. So he's looking for one thing only, his shot.
Carlton Screen's going to pick him up defensively. Screen's a good defensive player. Burton is on Burrell. Murdoch is chasing Chris Smith.
Again, the Friars really not putting the aggressive pressure on the basketball.
Nice play by Bragg. Friars have got some numbers on the break here. Screen takes it up, gets the bucket and the foul.
Like a few moments ago, I mentioned fast break points. I really think that's a key for the Friars, whether it's off a defensive board or whether it's off the turnover. For them to get out and run and convert is a big plus for their club.
Chris Smith picked up his second personal foul. Screen at the line, a chance to tie the game nearly halfway through the first half. Screen does not miss many at the line. Leading free throw shooter in the Big East. Here's Gwynn, gives it up to Smith. Screen from Burrell. Chris Lee. Rebound Conlon. Providence a chance for their first lead. Screen nearly lost it on the dribble. Conlon for 3. Bragg kept it alive.
That's what he'll do, throw his body around, keep balls alive.
Conlon looking for somebody cutting back door, and no one was there.
A good matchup here, Murdoch and Smith. Murdoch a creator with the ball. Smith a good defender.
Conlon pops out. Looking and finding Bragg for 2.
How about the position? He just threw Rod Sellers away from him. Well, I like that nice physical inside play, Mike.
Steal by Screen, blindsided Sellers, and Carlton gets 2. We told you the Friars were hot, and they are. Up 19-16.
We've yet to see them press either, Mike. They've really gotten away from pressing and stayed basically with their half-court defense.
Smith will try. Rebound, John Gwynn in traffic, and a foul on Carlton Screen. Got him from behind, second on Screen.
You made the point earlier during the day about how the Huskies guards will get to the offensive glass. And John Gwynn doing just that on that possession.
Screen will sit down 10 minutes into the game, and Trent Forbes, the freshman, will come in and be the point guard for Providence. Hennefeld is back in. Wholesale substitutions here for Connecticut. Will reset the lineup. St. George, John Gwynn, the guards. Dan Cerullo, first appearance in the middle. Nadav Hennefeld and Scott Burrell, the 2 forwards. Forbes, Burton, Murdoch, Bragg, and Conlon on the floor for Providence. John Gwynn comes up firing. Rebound by Forbes. Here's the freshman in the middle. Conlon comes high. Hennefeld comes out to get him. Forbes. And he went up and down with it.
Well, they're going to call a jump ball and say possession belongs to the Friars, I think.
No complaint out of Jim Calhoun, who had a better view than we did on that.
That's right.
On a cut, there's Forbes trying to dish it over his head. Conlon tracks it down. And Burrell took it away, and Conlon fouled him. You can have no lapses of concentration against this Connecticut club.
They're all pretty good athletes, and they all have quick hands. And you know what happens when you become known for a certain category or a certain department, as in steals for the Huskies, it becomes contagious. You feel like you're supposed to come up. Everybody on the team feels like they should come up to contribute to that steal total.
Friars over the limit with 9:21 to go. Connecticut will go over on their next foul, and here's Burrell. Missing the front end. Burton high. Murdoch, a little ball fake. Tough in front rims it. Rebound Cerulic in traffic. Up the sidelines, Burrell, pull-up jumper, no. And Conlon comes in over the back and picks up a rebounding foul. Marty Conlon's been a fine player for Providence College. However, he's not a player who really wants to get into an up-and-down game. He'll tendency to maybe get there late and pick up fouls like that.
Exactly that time, just a little bit out of position on the rebound. Although at the offensive end, when you talk about an up-and-down game, he can be that fourth or fifth guy.
Yes.
And with his outside shooting range, can be a factor.
A natural trailer on the
Exactly.
Dan Cerulic making the free throw.
Well, that stops a little drought for the Huskies.
10-0 run by Providence. Marvin Sadler is going to check in. Marty Conlon will go out. Forbes also goes to the bench as Carlton Screen is back in. By 2. Just under 9 minutes to go first half. Cerulic, a 55% free throw shooter, looking pretty smooth on those. Here's Murdoch with the quick push. They find Bragg.
Nothing wrong with the ankle there. Well, he's a heck of a guy to have coming off your bench because of his defensive presence, his rebounding ability. Anything he gives you at the offensive end is a huge plus.
George trying to use the Hennefeld screen. Now leaves it for Nadeau. The three's not there, and Cerulic's going to be called for a rebounding foul.
Friars doing a pretty nice job on the defensive board. The Huskies a pretty good offensive rebounding team.
His first personal team limit.
Calhoun look at both the officials and his team. Here's a look at Marquise Bragg. Twisted, as my partner says, and he is well twisted.
A little too twisted on that free throw, a little tight with it.
George comes up firing. Hennefeld tracks it down. Finds Cerulic. He'll take it. Rebound. Sadler lost it, but Murdoch right spot. Screen quickly the other way.
The sagging defense paying off for the Friars because lately the Huskies unable to knock down the perimeter shot.
Screen threw away the pass. John Gwynn to the bucket for 2.
Boy, nice slicing move in transition. John Gwynn, he's only 5'8", but he's got tremendous lift and rise. Showed a little bit of it there.
And the sellout crowd here at Gamble chanting for the defense. Friars by 1.
Is this a great environment for college hoops?
Terrific. It's a great building. You can see every person in the house.
Not like you're in the theater.
Yeah. Screen's little pull-up won't go, and Hennefeld clear. Here come the Huskies looking for a lead. Lyman to Priest. Doesn't shoot it much. George still not there. Sadler's tip pulled down by Screen. Burton's quick up the floor. Screen finds him down along the baseline. Nowhere to go. Got it to Murdoch. Rebound George. Outlet Gwynn. Won't get it. And they got Sadler for the rebound over the back, or the foul rather, over the back of the Priest.
Boy, the pace of this game, you see a few players reaching down and grabbing the shorts.
A lot of shorts pulling going on out there. Now I got to ask you that. You're a former player. I mean, why do they do that? Why does every player do that when they're tired?
Well, you don't have anything else to grab, really.
Never thought of it that way.
It's just kind of a natural reaction.
Lyman to Priest, a 6'5" junior out of Highland Park in Michigan.
It's really the closest you can get to sitting down. The coaches have the chairs over there.
Priest gets his first point of the night. Lyman's a kid as we look at Marquise Bragg, a tired rascal on the bench over there.
Well, he should be his way. He's banged his body around and gotten up and down.
The Priest, a kid who every year you hear in preseason how Lyman's playing time is going to disappear. And once the season starts, Lyman gets lots of minutes. The Huskies have got the lead again. They're up by 1. Providence successful against the half-court defense.
Here they just find the seam along the baseline. Murdoch to Bragg with the strong finish.
The shooting for Connecticut has been a struggle. They made their first 3 of the game and missed their last 6. Or 5, rather. Murdoch swallowed up in a double team, finds screen. Burton along the baseline, traveled with it.
Oh, I don't know. He fumbled the ball a little bit, but he was in his motion towards the hoop. That may have looked more like a walk than it actually was.
Sadler goes back out, Marty Conlon in, Shamsuddin also back in the Providence lineup.
The Huskies,
Smith now at the point.
the Huskies going to have to hit the perimeter shot. Looks like they put Friars a little more pressure on the ball this trip.
John Gwynn, who likes to shoot on the move, is stripped. The ball's loose, Screen's got it. Murdoch's up the floor. He finds Burton, blocked by Walker, who got back. Carlton Screen hits outside, counted for 2.
Is he ever out of control?
Not this year.
Made a nice pass, a little tough to handle. Burton didn't handle it cleanly. I think that's why the shot was blocked. Let's see if the Huskies get one of their better perimeter shooters a jump shot like this guy.
Like that?
Yeah, just like that.
4 for John Gwynn. Burton right back, blocked by Sellers. Here's Gwynn the other way. Finds Walker. Gets it back and comes up shooting. That's the guy you want, right?
You've got to get your shooters the ball where they can score. Gwynn is a shooter. He's a streak shooter. When he gets it going, watch out.
Huskies by 3. 5:10 to go here first half. And this building is rocking. Burton can't quiet him down. Gwynn the rebound. Inside, Sellers. And Torreno Walker tipped it out of bounds. Torreno's put together there, Clark.
And he's got a buff body. His isn't quite as twisted as Marquise, but it's buff. It's got the high polish on it.
Walker, the 6'8" freshman. Burton on the bench, and they got Hennefeld for a foul. Nearly got himself a tee, too. He was holding off on Shamsuddin.
Yeah, he escorted him from half court to the foul line.
He knew where he was the whole time, didn't he?
Yeah, he was well out of the 5-yard bump and run range. And right in front of the official, no less. Good call. Jim Calhoun claims that Shamsuddin gave the forearm.
Put out Louis Shamsuddin at the free throw line. First foul on the Dove Hennefeld.
The Doves had a tough time knocking down perimeter shots. I don't know if he's made the score column yet.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Shamsuddin just above 50% at the line in Big East play. Looked pretty smooth on that one.
Also leads his club in rebounds in conference play.
Let's keep the average right about 50. Here's Smith. The Huskies the ball and 2-point lead.
We've got a hot guy in John Gwynn. See if the Huskies can find him.
John's hot when he wakes up in the morning. He'll tell you that.
Yeah, he loves to play. He loves to get out there and get after it.
coming along the baseline. Looking inside, finds Walker. Kick it to Hennefeld. Got that one.
Boy, that's an excellent look by Walker out of the low post.
5-point Connecticut lead. Conlon misses a three, and they've got Shamsuddin on a rebounding foul. Number 2 on Shamsuddin, and it was Hennefeld who was there for the rebound.
Ball is on Abdul Shamsuddin.
John Quinn goes back to the Connecticut bench and gets a big hand. Had 3 quick buckets as Tate George is back in.
He's always energized and ready, isn't he?
And the Dove now with 4. Connecticut players have played in this first half. 8 have scored. And that's going to take you a long way in postseason play when you've got that kind of depth. Hennefeld got them both. The lead is back up to 7, and the Huskies have got it.
As a member,
The Friars, where the deficit is.
Hennefeld, George, Walker, Sellers, and Smith on the floor for Connecticut. Watts is back in with Burton, Conlon, Bragg, and Screen for Providence. Here's Smith. Gonna find some room, lost it on the way up.
Friars, the last couple of possessions, have looked at the basket a little too quickly. They like to execute here in the half court, make a few passes, move the defense, and get a good high percentage shot. Outside,
Watts hits a 3.
Well, when you can be that wide open and you're as good a three-point shooter as Watts is, that's high percentage offense.
That's big, big bucket for Providence. Gets him back to within 4. Inside to Sellers, kicks it out, George. Tate will take it and hit it. He had been in a drought, hit his first 2 shots, missed about 5 in a row. It gets the lead back to 6. Providence, a little trouble with the pressure here. And they got George for a foul.
George doesn't like it. Boy, tough foul because they had the heat on.
Sure did. Only 4 more seconds Providence had to get that ball over half court.
George claiming he was just being active with his hands.
Scott Burrell is back in for Connecticut, and Eric Murdoch is in for Carlton Screen. Conlon just 3 points now in this first half. He's been averaging 14 a game. As we mentioned earlier, fine career at Providence.
Broken that 1,000-point barrier.
Watts unable to control it down in the corner.
Well, I think Watts thought a Husky had touched it last and elected to let it go. Whenever there's a question, grab it, especially when it's at your end.
Smith comes up short, but he'll go to the line. Quentin Burton got him. Burton, his second. Friars have 4 players with 2 fouls, no one but 3.
College foul at number 15, Quentin Burton. His second personal. Husky shooter Chris Smith has 2 shots.
Smith averaging 17 a game in Big East play, 9th in the league in scoring.
And really their most creative player with the basketball. Only a sophomore. Really like his poise, his demeanor on the court. Doesn't seem to let a lot bother him.
Perfect 5 of 5 at the line. 7-point lead again for the Huskies. 35-28 to 25, as you can see, to go in the half. Smith's out on Murdoch. They skip it for Watts. George gets to him quickly. Burton nearly lost it on the sideline. Here's Burrell with the quick hands again.
The Huskies really do a good job of closing out
10
on the
on
ball
shot
handler.
clock. Watts will try again. Burton kept it alive. Friars get a fresh 45 out of it. Burton, tough shot. Rebound underneath Conlon. And he stepped on the line. John Clockerty making the call from outside.
Oh, boy, Rick Barnes, like me, I wonder how he saw that one. You know, I talked to you about the lines here. It's just the floor, and then it goes immediately to the out of bounds with no distinguishing line. And I think that's sometimes a problem. You can see it here in your picture. It just goes from the light color to the blue with no white line separating.
You were saying when we came in, Hennefeld missing a three, Burrell taken away by Murdoch. You were saying when we came in, you thought there should be a white line to distinguish them.
Exactly.
Murdoch's drive. Offensive foul is called on Murdoch.
I think we were going to have a difference in the calls. The baseline official, I think, was going to go the other way, but it's the top official's call, and Gene Manji went with the offensive foul. Murdoch did lower the shoulder a bit. That one always controversial, though, most of the time.
Take a look at the line we were talking about.
Yeah, I really think there should be a distinguishing line, a white line between the floor and the actual out of bounds.
Especially down there where the blue of the key gets.
Exactly, right.
Rick Barnes talking with John Clockerty, I think mainly over the fact that two calls were made by officials who appeared to be a long way away from the play.
Boy, Rick Barnes getting dangerously close to a tee.
Featured halftime on Purdue's Tony Jones, who flies a lot higher than just about anybody else in the NCAA. Also everything going on in college basketball with John Saunders. Preview of our second game, triple header Big Monday. .23 right now on the shot clock. Chris Smith gets a screen from Cerullo. Good look underneath, and Burrell's got two. And the Huskies have their biggest lead of the night, 37-28. Screen calling for it. Shot clock off. And a 5-second call on screen. Rick Barnes starting to think he's playing 5-on-8 here these last couple of minutes.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if that's considered good enough pressure, really. There's a couple of feet between the defender and screen.
Here's Smith. Would have been three. Bragg threw it away. Burrell for two. What had been a close game is now a double-digit game. The Huskies 39, the Friars 28 at halftime. Let's send it right back now to the way second half. Sellers, George, DePriest, Smith, and Hennefeld on the floor for Connecticut. Screen, Shamsuddin, Conlon, Watts, and Burton for Providence College. Smith creates one. DePriest in the right spot.
Boy, somebody batting around the rebound in there again by the Friars. Nobody squeezed it.
Sellers trying to power it up, and Shamsuddin was right there. His screen in the middle. Burton looking inside for Conlon. Now they reverse it to Watts. Gets a step on Smith. Little bullet for Conlon on the cut to Burton. Lays it in.
Boy, excellent execution that time. Good use of the extra pass.
The sellout crowd here at Gamble on their feet and clapping until the Huskies score. It's great when you got a new building, you can just start new traditions anytime. Lyman DePriest will not shoot the ball unless he has to. Here's George, pretty good up fake. Lays it inside for Hennefeld. Slap got it away. Smith in and out with the three. And DePriest is called underneath, pushing off on Quentin Burton.
Nice defensive stand that time by the Friars. They forced the Huskies to make the extra pass and not really be able to come up with a good open shot.
Third foul on DePriest. Friars looking to open the second half with a little run and get back in it. They're down 9. Conlon, pretty good position inside, and Hennefeld called for the hand in the back.
Hennefeld giving up 3 inches inside to Conlon. Called for the hold.
Second on the Dove. 2 quick ones here in the first minute and a half on the Huskies.
Looks like the Friars trying to be a little more patient and deliberate in their offense.
Shamsuddin finds a way, but it won't go down. Hennefeld saves it on the baseline. George legging it up the floor. Smith, plenty of time. Long rebound to Watts. Inside Shamsuddin, little line drive, hook for 2.
Boy, nice look by Screen.
Now the Friars getting the start they wanted. Hennefeld will try. Burton the rebound.
Well, it's 1 shot and out for the Huskies, and every shot has been outside. Much the way the game started.
Yes. Watts needs a little help. Conlon provides it. Over the top, bad pass, picked off by George. Chris Smith, good look for Sellers, he got 2.
Points off turnovers, a key stat in the first half.
Quentin Burton sets himself. Back rims the 3, rebound to George. Tate George, pull-up jumper goes down. So that 4-point burst by the Friars is quickly negated, and the lead is back to 11. Here's DePriest at 6'5", covering the point guard screen, and he picks up another foul.
Well, you think Rick Barnes at the end of the half got the officials' attention a little bit?
He stuck around for a while there after everybody left.
His 4th personal foul, 3rd on the team. Substitutions, Connecticut.
It's a tough assignment for DePriest, who picks up his 4th foul. At 6'5", again, a good enough athlete, quick enough to stay in front of screen, although he has picked up the foul.
Marquise Bragg is in for Providence. Scott Burrell in for Connecticut. And off the ball, the foul's called. I think it was Sellers.
No, I think they got Bragg.
They got Bragg?
Throwing that body of his around, trying to get a teammate open.
Sellers was so upset, he must have been on the receiving end of it. NFL. Smith gets a screen from him. Gives it back. Sellers inside, kicking it out. George. Tate George looking for the offense tonight. The first player for either team in double figures with 11. 13-point Husky lead. Hennefeld takes down the miss. Here comes George. He's got Burrell ahead. Alley-oop. Back to Smith. And George will reset the offense.
That last jump shot Tate George got, he slid in a couple of feet to the elbow.
Burton off the Smith miss.
I think that's going to be key for him when he spots up, to look to get a 15-footer as opposed to an 18 or 19-footer.
Smith chasing screen out near half court. And we got another 5-second call. Another turnover on the Friars, and they're in a 13-point hole. 13, little inside-out offense.
Great look here by Sellers. The nice diagonal pass out of the post to the open George, who knocks down the 15-footer. Sellers has only scored 2 points, and I'm sure the big fella would like to get some shots up inside, but that time showed good patience in finding an open teammate.
Murdoch back in the game along with Screen in the Providence backcourt. Critical couple of minutes coming up from the Friars here, who got blown out the first time by Connecticut. And are on the edge of one right now, down 13 with under 15 to go in the game. Smith looked inside briefly at Burrell. Goes to Sellers. Bullet pass to Burrell. Murdoch got a piece of it, and the loose ball comes to Bird.
I think this guy has to step on the offensive gas pedal a little bit.
Way short with the jumper. Smith the other way. Smith, the leaner, and what an offensive foul called on Chris.
Smith trying to create a lane that wasn't there. Struggling a bit in the second half. 4 of 4 on the night, 2 of 10 from the floor.
4 on the team.
It'll be Providence basketball. John Gwynn's going to check in, and Chris Smith will go out. Jim Calhoun with the same feelings you had.
Sensing that his outstanding sophomore struggling a bit, forcing it a little. Give him some time to think about it. And also give the Energizer a chance to get it going. Murdoch
comes up firing. Burrell couldn't control the rebound. The Friars will get another shot with 14:05 to go in the game. Scott Burrell's got himself a 90-mile-per-hour plus fastball, too. Major League Baseball hot on his tail.
Very good-looking athlete.
Conlon pops out. He can't get the roll. There's Burrell climbing for the rebound. Bullet pass ahead. John Gwynn. Now Dov Hennefeld picks it off. Gwynn again. Conlon's got this one. Screen. Got some people ahead of him. And Hennefeld comes back and commits a fairly smart foul.
You know, you don't see enough guys do that. Attack the dribbler when the offense has numbers. Most guys will just go back into the tandem and let the offense dictate. That's a good defensive play by Hennefeld to dictate to the offense. Challenged the ball. He committed the foul, but still a wise play by Hennefeld. I think you need to see more guys do that defensively.
Sits down with 3. Murray Williams in. Conlon down low this time, and Sellers is called with a foul.
Ball is on number 22, Ron Sellers.
6 team fouls already on the Huskies here. Only 1 on Providence in the second half. Murdoch trying to get it in. Did. Conlon, the follow goes down.
Marty Conlon.
Screen got loose underneath, went to the left hand. Missed it, but anytime you get that deep of a penetration, offensive rebounds are available.
The lead 11, that's where we were at halftime. Underneath, Murray Williams will jump hook for 2. Here's the trap right in front of us. Bragg, good look for Burt, missed the layup. Bragg right back for 2. Marquise doesn't quit on many plays.
No, I like his activity. Rebounding is about quick second effort. So often guys can go with that first initial thrust, but the good rebounders go after it well the second and third time.
Burrell inside. Williams kicks it out to George. Husky show patience as George comes back out and resets the offense with 15 on the shot clock. John Gwynn lets a man go by. Quentin Burton, a strong rebound.
Nice box out.
Here's screen. Little hesitation move. Took it to the hole. Reach in foul on the drive.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy here, Carlton Screen. We take a look at Tate George now. Carlton Screen, there he is. He's taken over games recently, Mike. And I expect him to do much the same here tonight. Look to penetrate and get to the free throw line.
Number 32, Tate George.
George committing his third foul as Dan Cerula comes in and Rod Sellers goes to the Connecticut bench. And Screen, who had 6 points in the first half, with 12:05 to go in the second half, a chance to add to that total. Again, a 90% free throw shooter.
You know, when you look at the Huskies, the one weakness I see is the fact that they don't have a consistent inside game or inside player. They have a tendency to become very perimeter oriented, and that can create problems if they don't get the shots to go down. Fire showing us full court pressure for the first time tonight.
Yep. Williams, though, able to get through it. Now George will reset. Connecticut's made great use of the clock in the second half.
They've really done a nice job being patient in the half court, moving the basketball around.
George for three. Burton, another board, gets it ahead quickly to Screen. Carlton, little pull-up jumper. That's the Carlton Screen who's been playing the last 2 weeks for the Friars. It's a 7-point game. John Gwynn right back, and it won't go. Tipped up and in by Burrell. Murdoch back quickly. Got Gwynn in the air. Looking for a foul he didn't get, and the rebound to Burrell. Up to Gwynn. John to the hole. Like there was a doubt.
You know where he's going with it.
Burton hits a little pull-up jumper on the baseline. This the pace we got going in the first half.
Boy, they missed Murray Williams. I think Jim Calhoun wants to settle it down. Maybe not comfortable getting into an up and down roller skate type game with the Friars, especially when you're on the lead.
Here's Murray Williams putting it on the floor. And for about the 5th trip in a row, Connecticut down around the 15-second mark on the shot clock.
The Friars content to lay back.
Gwynn comes up, shoot, gets his own rebound. And the foul's going to be called on Eric Murdoch, who got to the spot late. Second on Murdoch. Shamsuddin and Greg Bent make an appearance for the Friars. For Bent, his first of the night. Conlon and Bragg sit down. We've got a timeout halfway through. 8 years ago, Connecticut led Providence 31-16 at halftime and looked like they were home free. But when Billy Fields hit this little runner in the lane, it was tied at 45 and headed to overtime. No one scored in the overtime period until Corny Thompson misses, but Bruce Kaczynski gets the tip in, and the Huskies get a 2-point win. Well, we've passed those numbers with 10 minutes still to go in regulation here. 51-42. Connecticut the ball and a 9-point lead.
I really think the Friars need to speed this game up.
Gwynn coming away with the long rebound. 2 points we were talking about during that break. One, new gym, new rims, long rebounds, right?
Especially on long jumpers. And we just saw an indication of that right there. And I think the Friars need to turn it up defensively. They've only got 2 team fouls.
Shamsuddin, the block on Burrell down low. We talked off the top about the backcourts, and Smith, George, and Gwynn combining for 28. 9-point lead, 8-point difference in the backcourts. But again, the Friars, as you started to say, Clark, with just 2 team fouls and allowing Connecticut to eat large chunks of time every trip up the floor.
They've got to be more aggressive. They've got to try to create some offense with their defense.
Murdoch there with the block Screen the recovery. John Gwynn right out on Eric Murdoch. And Gwynn called for the bump and foul.
Not a smart foul there. He got the reach in. He was in excellent position with his feet, but reached in.
And it puts the Friars now at the line for the final 9:16 of the game. Pretty good free throw shooting team as Chris Smith has come back in. Nadav Hennefeld is also going to come back. Murray Williams will go out. You get to a position, though, Clark, as you were starting to say, with only 2 team fouls on the Friars, you start to get down the stretch. And then you can't foul because they keep getting the ball back on.
That's right. You got to make good use of that situation. Use it to your advantage.
Murdoch with his 5th point.
And the flip side of that is that if they can increase their pressure defensively, come up with some turnovers, make it more of an open court game, they're in the bonus. And every foul results in an opportunity for shots that can strike. And an opportunity, if they knock down free throws, maybe to go through their full court pressure.
Let's see if Providence goes to their pressure off a made free throw if they get one here. They don't. Up quickly, Burrell. Rebound, Shamsuddin. His screen looking for the transition hoop.
Nice job by the Huskies to get back.
And Nadav Hennefeld just took it away from Conlon. Up to Burrell. Big turnaround right there.
How about it, Nadav? Conlon just not strong with the ball, and Nadav with such quick hands and anticipation. Just picked his pocket.
Conlon spins on Hennefeld, gets his own rebound, and he'll go to the line as he got hit on the way back up.
Conlon wanted that one big time, didn't he?
Not to be denied.
He really made up his mind that he was going to try to put it back into Nadav's space. Watch this play by Hennefeld. Clearly, but Conlon takes the ball weakly in front of Nadav. But Nadav in excellent position. Then the conversion off the turnover. They had 12 points off 13 turnovers at the half, and 2 or 3 times here in the second half they've converted turnovers to points.
1-and-1 for Conlon.
Ooh, I thought that should have been a 2-shot foul.
Ball 1-and-1.
It doesn't make much difference now. He gets to knock down the first.
And again, the Friars unable to get into any kind of pressure defense off the missed free throw. 9-point game. The Huskies the lead in the ball with 8:25 to go. Here they go, patiently attacking the Friars. Smith inside, Burrell finds George. Passes up a couple of shots he might have taken earlier. Now he'll try, and hit. 3 for Tate George. He's got 14, the lead is a dozen. Burton comes up shooting and hits a 3.
Nice answer.
Smith, nobody got him, and Shamsuddin has to commit the foul on the drive.
Nice push of the basketball that time by the Huskies. The Friars in the home run, casual trot.
Enjoying the 3.
Enjoying that triple and got burned at the other end. One thing you have to be impressed about when you think about Connecticut is they play a lot of different styles. You know, they can play the up-tempo game fairly well. They can slow it down and spread you out and execute patiently in the half court. You know, they can play games in the 60s, 70s, or 80s.
An interesting crowd here in Gamble. You could have heard a pin drop as Chris Smith was about to line up that free throw. UConn 13 of 14 from the free throw line, and the lead is 11 with 7:48 to go. 8 minutes to go, and Connecticut holding on to that 11-point lead. 58-47 over the Providence College Friars. Turnovers have hurt Providence all night long. Eric Murdoch averaging 16 a game with just 5. Great free throw shooting. Connecticut 64% from the line coming into tonight's game.
Little half-court trap here by the Huskies. Give the Friars a different look.
Murdoch trying to weave his way in. Pretty good trap over there. And Providence had to use the timeout. Rick Barnes had to use one up he might like a little bit later on. Lots of basketball coming up here on ESPN this week. Tomorrow night, 7:30, number 16 Louisville will play against Memphis State. Great matchup in that conference. Always is a terrific basketball game. And then coming up at 9:30, Auburn and Alabama. Vanderbilt in a struggle for an NCAA berth. Every game a key now for them. That is the Phantom Friar.
The light too much for him.
They are ready here at Gamble. They are
love their
ready
hoops
for
here,
big-time
don't they?
college basketball. They really are. 7:26 left to go. Tate George, one of the more underrated players on this Connecticut club, has had a strong game.
Their senior, their leader, knocking down big shots when they need them. That time, that one was a 3. He's had a couple of those tonight.
It's an 11-point game, and the difference is pretty much the bench. 22-11, Connecticut outscoring Providence College, and that's the difference in the game. So the Friars using the timeout. Let's see what Rick Barnes comes up with. They need some points in a hurry. And again, only 3 team fouls on Providence with 7:26 to go. So they're going to have to waste some fouls on the end to get the ball back towards the end of this game.
Yeah, they've squirreled them away pretty well. Now they're going to have to make good use of them.
Conlon nearly threw it away. Hennefeld will be called with that foul. Either he or Saru. Look, they got Hennefeld, I believe, as Providence was looking to get the ball in the paint to Conlon.
Well, with Shamsin Dean and also Conlon in the lineup, that puts Hennefeld on one of those big guys. And that time, the Friars elected to post up Conlon, and Hennefeld committed the foul. Not a bad place to go, but you got to knock them down.
Smith coming away with the miss. Screen out. Now he backs off a bit on George. Chris Smith picked off by Screen. Got a hand in there. Murdoch the loose ball. Murdoch to the bucket. No, the follow won't go down for Shamsuddin. Conlon is blocked by Burrell. Burrell. Hannafeld with the tip. Screen the loose ball.
Boy, the Huskies play that suffocating man-to-man defense. They don't let you get anything easy.
Murdoch comes up shooting. He knocks down a 3.
3-point field goal.
8 now for Murdoch. 8-point game. And again, Connecticut looking to show patience on the offensive end. And it's thrown away as Chris Smith went the wrong way, at least as far as Tate George is concerned. And with 6:04 to go, the Friars a chance to get to 6 or less.
Indecisiveness most often leads to turnovers.
Burton down in the corner. Screen to Conlon. Conlon putting it on the floor. Nearly walked with it. Quentin Burton trying to handle it. Now Murdoch comes to help. Eric Murdoch comes up firing again. In and out this time, and Cerulic there for a tough rebound. Up to George. And a bumping foul outside on Murdoch. Number 3 on Murdoch. Just the 4th on the team. 5:22 to go on this one. Huskies by 8 in the ball. Screen will jump out on George. Burrell wants it inside, and Cerulic throws it away. Huskies were all the way down to 14 on the shot clock. They're doing a great job of taking time off the clock, but they're looking very tentatively when it comes time to shoot it.
They really are. They may be not looking to be assertive enough at the offensive end. You still got to put some points on the board. There's too much time on the clock.
Hennefeld, the steal over the back of Conlon. Nadav is hit by a screen and commits a foul. Let's take another look at this steal. Got the attention of the Providence bench.
Nadav is going to break contact here with Conlon. Well, actually, he throws him down is what he does. No whistle. But good post defense always is taught that you need to break contact with that offensive player. You don't want him to feel your body. Nadav did that with the help of a little takedown. He came up with the steal.
Big turnaround. Providence the ball and a chance to get to 6 or less, and now Hennefeld a chance to open the lead to 10 with 4.5 to play.
That's been the story most of this half. At least the second part of this second half. Providence seems like they're in a position to cut into the lead and the momentum of the Huskies, and a turnover jumps up.
And Hennefeld goes for the bubble at the line. But Conlon got outfoxed in the rebounding action.
Jim Calhoun said Rod Sellers has as quick a pair of feet as anybody he's coached, any big man he's coached. And that time he used those quick feet to get around Conlon. And that's a clear no-no. You got inside defensive position.
Should never happen.
You can't allow a guy to dance around you and come up with the offensive board.
3 straight free throws missed by the Huskies.
Well, Sellers shooting free throws at only 52%.
1 of 3 tonight. Again, a loose ball off the miss, but it's tracked down by Burton. Second trip for the Friars, down 8 with the ball. Murdoch, little ball fake, leaves it for Conlon. 10-foot jumper goes down. 8 for Conlon, 6 to lead. You get the feeling Connecticut's got to think a little bit more offensively. Smith, and a blocking foul is called on Murdoch. 4th on Murdoch. And the Friars now up over the limit. Chris Smith will be at the line, and Smith the best 75% free throw shooter.
Husky shooter Chris Smith.
58-52. Connecticut by 6. 4 minutes straight up to go. Smith having a big night at the line. That one never had a chance. He went and got his rebound, and he'll go back again.
Well, I tell you what, the Friars are getting their opportunities, Mike. You've got to read the shot. That's a big key to rebounding too. You have to read a shot being short and how it's going to come off the rim, and then react to it. Get after it. The Friars have been flat-footed.
Smith making the necessary adjustment, pushes the lead to 7.
And the shooter really should never get his own missed free throw.
He's got to come away.
Give Smith credit. He out-quicked everybody to the ball.
Burton this time with the miss. 59-52. Smith out on screen. And Lyman DePriest called over the back of Marty Conlon. 5 fouls on Lyman DePriest. He and Murdoch playing with 5. And that'll get Hennefeld immediately up off the Connecticut bench.
Marty Conlon is sitting down too low in the post. He's got to stand a little taller. He's twice now lost his balance in there because he's expecting contact and he's sitting down real low. He needs to stay tall and know where the defenders are.
Conlon shooting right into the students. Didn't bother him that time. 9th point of the night for Conlon. And he got them both. It's a 5-point game. Sellers comes high. Shamsuddin got him. Maybe not a bad foul.
I tell you what, the way Shamsuddin came out, that looked like what his plan was.
Yep.
To send Sellers to the line, but the way the Friars have rebounded free throw misses, they better get that part of their game together if they want to make this strategy pay off.
Sellers is at the line. 1-1.
5th point of the night for Rod Sellers. Marquise Bragg.
What is that, the jinxing towel?
I don't know. He's doing a Jerry Tarkanian imitation. Sellers for the 2nd of 2. And Conlon the miss, and again, a chance for the Friars now to get to 4 or less. Exchanging 1 for 2 here. And off the ball, a foul on Quentin Burton, maybe? You see the reaction of Rick Barnes, kind of a wry smile. Yes, it is on Burton. They'll put Scott Burrell at the free throw line. And
1-1.
Scott hasn't put too many strings together this year himself. He's only shooting 36% at the line in league play.
Much better form than that percentage would indicate.
11 for Burrell.
Solid game for him off the bench.
Yes.
Look at John Gwynn there. Always into it, whether he's in the game or not.
Burrell looked good on those 2. Back up to 8. Here comes Murdoch. 3:20 to go in the game.
The Friars can't afford many more empty possessions.
Murdoch pops out. A little runner in the lane, and he got hit as he put it up. He'll be at the line. And I think they got Tate George.
They got him for a brush foul. They claim that he grabbed the jersey of Murdoch.
Eric will be at the line for a couple. Marquise Bragg is back in. Abdul Shamsuddin goes to the Providence bench. 9 now for Murdoch on the night.
You know,
Rick Barnes checks the clock.
I felt the Friars would have to increase the tempo to get back into it, but they've done a nice job in staying in the neighborhood by being selective as to when they apply defensive pressure. And they've been able to knock down some shots and free throws late.
George lays it off to Burrell, kick it out to Hennefeld.
And I think the Huskies have helped the Friars in that they haven't really been assertive offensively.
The Dove can't get it down. Bragg there for the rebound. Providence a chance to get to 4. 2:41 to go. Screen, drive,
Oh,
left-handed hook for 2.
Don't show us your whole game, Carlton, with the wrong hand after the shake and bake.
62-58. And Connecticut wants and gets a timeout. 2:58, a 4-point game. Carlton screen, trying to bring the Friars back. Clock.
Ooh, this is sweet. This is sweet, Mike. Shake and bake, then the left hand. Oh, that's a nice move. At crunch time, he's got 12 on the night.
Friars trying to get to that magic 17 or 18, depending upon whom you talk to get to the NCAA tournament. Those are the remaining games. Big one with Syracuse at the Providence Civic Center.
Mike, you made an excellent point during our break. We thought the Friars would have to up-tempo it, but Connecticut became more clock conscious than point conscious, and it really worked into the Friars' hands. They've gotten back into it without having to increase the tempo.
John Gwynn is in now for Connecticut. A little bit more of an offensive-minded player. And here's Chris Smith.
A little.
Lyndon Gwynn. Burton kept quick touch with him.
Oh, that should be offensive foul. Yes,
yes,
sir.
It is. That's the call.
No doubt about that one.
Chris Smith picks up his 4th. But more importantly, the Friars get the ball with 1:50 to go and a chance to get to 2. Jim Calhoun makes offensive and defensive substitutions. Gwynn comes out. Murdoch across the 10-second line. George is out on him. Murdoch looks like he wants to take him. Leaves it for Conlon. Burton for 3, and he hit it! 62-61. 1:22 to go. Providence College looking to knock off a nationally pavilion. 62-61. Connecticut by 1. The Huskies hot from the line to start the game, but have really lost it here down the stretch. 4 of their last 11. A lot of those the front end of 1-on-1s. Bragg, Conlon, Burton, Screen, and Murdoch on the floor for Providence. Smith, Hennefeld, George, Burrell, and Gwynn out there for Connecticut. And again, Connecticut's going to take time. Connecticut has not scored a field goal in 7 minutes.
Now the pressure on the Huskies now. The Friars have all the momentum. They've got the confidence, and the Huskies have to find somebody willing to step up and take the big shot.
Tate George traveled with it. And Providence with 51 seconds to go. The ball and a chance for the lead. Abdul Shamsuddin back in, Bragg out. Sellers in. But the Priest in too, Burrell and Gwynn go out. Unbelievable.
The Huskies seem to be a little bewildered, Mike.
Very much so.
They haven't been in this position much.
Screen comes to the ball. Smith's on him. Little hand checking. Screen gets the bump. And Carlton Screen's going to go to the free throw line. And if you're a Providence College fan, you've got the #1 free throw shooter in the Big East Conference going to the line with 33 seconds to go.
And he just called that play for himself. A little clear out coming off the pick.
A couple of teams from your neck of the woods coming up next. Number 25, Indiana, against number 9, Purdue. What a surprise Purdue has been this year. Not a surprise anymore, Gene Katie. I know that.
That's
right. But you were early.
The Boilers getting it done.
And Carlton Screen at the stripe. Over 90% at the line in Big East play. And that's short. He doesn't get the bounce. The Friars are going to have to foul. The shot clock is off. And they go at John Gwynn, and I'm not sure that's the guy they want to go at.
He's not the guy you want. And there still was enough time to try to get somebody else to the foul line. But worst case scenario, he makes them both. You're still only down 3 if you're the Friars. So in that situation, maybe time on the clock more important than trying to make sure you get one of the poor free throw shooters to the line.
Jim Calhoun trying to dodge a bullet. John Gwynn, big at the line the last 2 minutes of a ball game. Providence will try to ice him.
With the timeout.
Missed it. George, the big rebound. Gets it out to Smith. The Friars better come and foul again, and screen gets Gwynn.
Boy, how prophetic your words, Mike, about rebounding the miss. We've talked about the new arena, the tight rims, the long boards, and the Friars have not gotten their share tonight, especially on the defensive glass.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. John Gwynn, second opportunity, 20 seconds on the clock. John Gwynn's not the type of guy you want to give a second opportunity to.
He's a competitor, a fiery one at that. Look at those eyes.
The only player from DeMatha High School ever to come to a Big East school. Conlon comes down with the miss, 2-point game. Friars 2 for the tie, 3 for the win. Rick Barnes will not take a timeout. Screen to Conlon. Fires up a 3, it's short. Murdoch hits it, we're tied. 3 seconds to go, Connecticut calls time. We are looking at overtime.
Well, it's rather interesting that the shot that ties it up for the Friars is an offensive board when they haven't been able to clamp down on any at the defensive end when they've needed them most.
Providence had 1 offensive rebound in the first half. 1. Connecticut now with 3 seconds to go. Probably Jim Calhoun wishes he was in the NBA right now so he could get the ball at half court.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's a little tougher to go the distance in 3 seconds from the baseline.
No doubt there will be no foul. You would have to think Chris Smith, maybe George, who's had a big night. John Gwynn, of course, will be in there.
Smith has struggled, but again, he's probably their best creator with the ball. You would think they'd try to throw some type of long pass to half court, get it into the hands of somebody like a Smith or George that could take 1-2 dribbles, get into shooting range, and try to get a shot up and down. Or maybe they throw a home run ball towards the paint area of their own basket and just get up there and fight for it and try to get something along the alley-oop nature.
Obviously, the clock in your favor as we look at what's coming up next, Indiana and Purdue, but it may be a while. It's tough when you're the defensive team in this situation, Clark, because you want to defend, yet you can't foul.
And you certainly can't allow somebody to beat you over the top.
Right.
You got to make sure you got the basket protected.
The baseball pitcher Burrell will make the inbounds pass. It comes to Smith. Up to Gwynn, too late. Foul and not give him a chance for 3. Although they've got a long way to come in 2 seconds here.
I think in this situation, you clearly just play good, solid defense. Although it wouldn't be a bad idea to commit a foul. There's nobody pressuring the inbounds pass for the Huskies. Conlon going to have.
Comes to Murdoch. He tries to get a timeout. I'm not sure they don't have a foul before he got the timeout.
Looks like they're going to give him the timeout first.
Yep, they are. All right, so Providence will sacrifice a second to get it up by half court.
Well, now they've got an opportunity for the pass to go a shorter distance to get into better shooting range. Instead of trying to throw a baseball pass from the baseline in the 3-point range, now you have a chance to set up a play, set some type of pick, probably for a Murdoch or a screen, and have them catch it and turn and fire.
Screen and and Murdoch, 46 and 35% three-point shooters. Burton can also shoot it, so can Conlon. And you can bet Watts will probably be on the floor.
I'll tell you what, it's not a bad idea here to use one of your better three-point shooters as a decoy. I mean, you don't have enough time, really. But clearly, the Huskies would have to focus on Screen and Murdoch. And in that situation, maybe you get a Burton or a Conlon loose for a good three.
The Huskies are on the floor waiting. Providence taking all the time they can. 1 second on the clock, and it's looking like Carlton Screen is going to be the one to make the pass. Rod Sellers, all 6'9" of them, is going to be the defender. Screen looking. Picked off. Connecticut wins. The Huskies get the daylight scared out of them here by the Providence College Friars, but they hold.
Wasn't impressed with that. In overtime, tied at 72. Tate George with the basketball will go right, draw a double team. He finds Nadav Hennefeld, who glanks one in off the rim, a three-pointer. That made it 75-72, and the Huskies escape. Keep in mind, Providence has also beaten Syracuse and Georgetown, like UConn has this year. It's a good team.
Victories over Georgetown and St. John's, and scratch their way back from a 12-point deficit with 8 minutes left to play in the second half. Let's go to it. The Huskies on the break. Tate George outlets to John Gwynn, who splits the defense. UConn up by 11. But the Huskies went cold from the free throw line. Take a look at, if you will, Nadav Hennefeld. No. Rod Sellers took a shot. No. Chris Smith. They just went cold down the stretch at the wrong time. UConn didn't make a field goal in the last 8 minutes of regulation. That let Providence get back in it. Marty Conley would miss from 3, but Murdoch put it home to send it into overtime, tied at 63. Then Nadav would come up with the steal. Gets it ahead to George. George gives it back. Nadav jacks it up and ties it up at 65. And then Chris Smith took Murdoch to school. Gets the bucket and the foul. Huskies by 3. But the Friars hung tough. Tied it up with Murdoch from 3, 72-72. Nadav had the last shot to pull it out for UConn. Puts it up from 3 and gets the bounce. And the Gamble Pavilion, as you might expect, went a bit crazy, celebrating the super freshman with the waving of the Israeli flag. The final, 75-72.
I thought we acted in the last 4 or 5 minutes, mainly because it hasn't happened to us too much recently. A team really came back at us, and we were kind of unable to score. They were at 2, but they scored a few more hoops and tied the game up, and we acted like, oh my God, someone actually did this to us, as opposed to saying, hey, we got 5 more minutes, let's go out and beat them. And we yelled at them, and we come out, they score a quick hoop, but then we play great.
When I came to pick for Tate, I looked at the clock, it was 6 seconds on the clock, and I just picked him. He went to the basket, I just backed off, looking for the other option, if he's going to the basket or not to pass me. He passed me the ball, I even didn't look at the clock. I think it was maybe...
Years many times. I make fun of the college poll. I think it's silly. Providence is not ranked. They've beaten Syracuse. They've beaten Georgetown, like our friends from Stores have. So how come UConn had to go to overtime to beat them? Because the kids don't care about the poll, particularly when they're not in it. They want to beat somebody who is in it. UConn is, though, receiving more and more respect. If you like these basketball polls, they're number 6 this week in the AP affair. Tonight, playing the rematch with Providence, Phil Andrews reports from courtside.
Providence College entered the Gamble Pavilion tonight, desperately in need of an upset to help keep alive their slim NCAA tournament hopes. And with that in mind, Carlton Screen helped fuel a 12-2 run early in the first half to give Providence a 3-point lead, their biggest lead of the night. Connecticut, however, answered PC's run with a run of their own. Lyman DePriest with the steal, then finding John Gwynn for 2 of his 9 points, cutting it to a 1-point Providence advantage. As a matter of fact, it was Gwynn who helped put the Huskies ahead 26-23 with this jumper, and just for good measure, Scott Burrell closed out the half with this bucket to make it an 11-point Connecticut lead at the break.
Yeah, they're a team that never gave up. They played hard the whole game, and they want to knock us out of first place. We're in first place, and they came out ready to play.
The Huskies looked fairly solid in the second half. That is until with just 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go in the game when they saw their 11-point balls dwindle to just 1. And that's when Quentin Burton popped this three-pointer to make it a 62-61 Connecticut lead. And then with the Huskies on top 63-61, Eric Murdoch sunk this one to tie it and force overtime.
I really came to play tonight, and we had an 11-point lead, and we seemed to lack off a little bit, and we thought we had it in our pocket, but they had a lot of heart, they showed a lot of character, and they came out and cut that 11-point lead, and it was an overtime game.
As a matter of fact, Murdoch scored 11 of his game-high 21 points here in the overtime period, but it wasn't enough. With the score 72-72 and just a few ticks left on the clock, the Dove Hennefeld sunk the winning three-pointer, 75-72 Connecticut, as they pick up their 23rd victory of the year.
Look at the clock. I think it was maybe in the last second or even after the last second. I just shot the ball and it went in.
Phil Andrews, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Bed Limit Stores, they got away with one tonight.